Has anyone ever challenged you to something you are an expert at without them knowing it? If so, how did it turn out for them or for you? I was at the gym at work, and there's a fit-looking older guy running on the treadmill. There's also another guy there wandering around, not really working out, but trying to talk to everyone and offer advice. What is it with guys thinking girls need help in the gym, haha? Just being a pest in general. He wanders over to the guy running and starts asking him what he's training for. Running guy answers ultra marathon in a few weeks. Annoying guy is impressed but jokingly and says, will you win? Running guy, probably. Annoying guy, oh, ha, yeah, you always got to be positive, right? Running guy, well, I've won it for the last 3 years and the closest person to me was 50 minutes behind me, so yeah, I'm pretty positive. I surreptitiously checked out his name on the sign and register and went back to my desk to Google him. Yep, multiple records for ultramarathons, 24-hour road and treadmill races, 48-hour treadmill races. Late to reply, but years ago one of the goofiest friends of mine had a pair of those teeth made by a dentist, so they looked extremely real and were extremely messed up. He would wear these and talk in a hillbilly drawl, acting pretty much functionally retarded. He could keep this act up for hours. In reality, he was a scratch golfer who had a full ride to a university with a nationally ranked golf team. He was wearing his teeth in scroungy clothes when playing a round of golf with a friend, and they had to pair with a couple of older CEO types snobs who were wannabe Arnold Palmers. The older gentleman decided to take advantage of my friend for some easy money. Friend accepted, and then convinced them to raise the wager to a more serious amount of money. It did not end well for the decked-out pair of CEO. For the record, friend kept in character the entire time, leading the men to believe they got their asses kicked by an illiterate redneck. Edit. It would be so much funnier if I had a video. Now that I'm thinking about it, he looked and acted very much like Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder when he was forced to act out Simple Jack in front of the enemy camp. Goodbye, mama. Now, you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you again tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain. So I enter a round-robin pool competition in Cairns, Australia. At this point in my life I look, well, a little scraggly. I'm also a bit more than half pissed, and my first match is against this very snazzily dressed bloke with slicked back hair who proceeds to screw his very expensive cue together as I sit on the bar stool nursing a jug of beer with a mate, the shitty house cue resting up against the table. This guy has clearly watched The Color of Money a number of times, and arrogance wafts off him like so many dollar bills from an easy mark. Now, I'm not the best pool player in the known universe, but I did get my own pool table as my 10th birthday present, and I played that shitty every single day for years. I then spent most of my life from 16-21 playing pool in bars in New Zealand. So you know, I'm alright. So anyway, Tom Cruise over here makes eye contact for the first time and I say hello and compliment him on his rather nice cue. He responds by saying, don't worry buddy, I'll go easy on you. Coin flip, it's my break. I down the rest of my beer and sink 2 off the break, and proceed to have a dream run. I'm in that wonderful place between slightly buzzed and rather pissed where everything just feels right, and I'm sinking every shot with perfect weight and spin to bring the white into position for the next shot. 5 down, 6, 7. I own the black and Mr. Shark over here with the tude hasn't had a shot. The shot is actually not that hard, and being one of those perfect moments, I carpe diem by lining it up and then look up at him to lock eye contact as I hit the white. Watch the black drop in my peripheral vision, smile and nod. My mate, meanwhile, is pissing himself laughing. Old mate doesn't even shake my hand, walks out of the hall without saying a word. Drank too much beer afterwards and didn't win the comp. I am no expert, but I met a similar kind of guy. I was on my own, just practicing. I haven't been playing a long time, but I seem pretty good at it. I'm not good at too many things, so I wanted to learn how to do well. A group of guys are a bit rowdy beside me. They are playing the winners, and this one guy is winning all the time. I kind of giggle at him because for his last shot in his game, I see him do this unnecessary behind-the-back shot. He smiles at me and challenges me to a game. He wins the toss and sinks 3 balls before missing his shot. Sorry, cutie, I'll go easier next turn. He gives a smug look to his buddies. Oh, thanks so much. Now, I'm not the best, but I had some drinks in me, and that night I was on my game. I proceed to sink every ball at the black. I should have just ended it there, but I had seen him be a jerk-off to his buddies for the past hour. I tap the cue ball and roll it to him. "Let me go easier on you, cutie." His friends giggle. I can tell he is a bit flustered. He lines up the ball, and for some reason, pride I guess, he put the cue far back and proceeds to miss the shot and sinks the cue. Now is my chance to be the asshat. I put down the cue randomly, bounce off the side, sink the black. I've never played so good before and haven't since. After I beat him I realized there was a huge chance I could have made myself look like an idiot, but I had just watched this guy acting like the shit for about an hour. I think adrenaline and liquid confidence kicked in. His buddies laughed and clapped. One said, "Okay, I play winner." But I said I have to leave. No way was I going to do that well again. I've done a lot after to practice, and no matter how hard I try I can't play a perfect game like that. I sometimes wonder what would have happened if he made his shot, or if I missed mine after so confidently rolling the bitch out and shooting from where it landed. I went to karaoke and sang a few victory songs. I haven't accepted a challenge again. At the county fair, I was on the receiving end of some ill-natured heckling from a couple of farm hands. Real good old boy types. They were being idiotic to everybody who signed up for the skid loader rodeo, smack-talking anybody with how shit-hot they are and how anybody else is just embarrassing themselves. For whatever reason, they especially targeted me with their lame-sauce rural Iowa smack talk. It got to the point where the one got on my face. To make a boring story short, I manage an agricultural business. All I do at said business is operate a skid street tractor. I won $10 and made a pair of brothers eat crow. I was 30 years old around 4 to 5 years ago. I went to a family house party of my GF where a bunch of her teenage cousins were playing rock band. It was a kinda if you fail the song you have to give the controller to the next person situation. This one kid kept being a douche to other kids because he played on hard so he had the highest scores and never passed the guitar around. He was annoying and didn't let other kids play, making others feel bad because they played on easy or medium. Anyway, at some point he said that he could beat anyone in the party. One of the younger kids said, "I bet Battlein could beat you." I played with him once when my GF was babysitting him. So the annoying teen started mouthing off, and they called me over. I was sitting with the adults and faked ignorance. "Oh yeah, I know this game. Guitar band, right?" So we had a plastic guitar rock-off. If I won, he would let the younger kids have the console for the rest of the evening. The best score would win. Same song, of course. He selected AC or DC. Thunderstruck on hard. On my turn I changed the difficulty to expert. He said, "I think you made a mistake." And I said, "No I didn't," then proceeded to whip his ass score and percent-wise. I became a rock god for a bunch of 12-year-olds that day. I had an athletic scholarship in college. I swam. But after college, I went to graduate school biochemistry and proceeded to lose the swimmer physique. However, you don't lose technique. So, the wife and in-laws and I are at a resort in Puerto Rico one day, and I swam across the pool to meet them. And some guys started talking up their friend to go challenge me to a race. The dude came over, he was ripped, all eye candy, and challenged me to a race across the pool and back. And the loser had to buy the other group a round of drinks. There were about 8 of them and 4 of us. It was about 30 yards or so nearly a 50-meter freestyle, and I was a sprinter. In college I had a high 23 sec. Time in the event. So, I agree, and watch him swim and touch the other side. That's when I turned that on, an underwater kick to a flip turn, and then burst out beast mode on the return. I hit the wall when he was a little over halfway back. Needless to say, he bought us all a round of beers, and we actually ended up seeing them several times over the next week. He was a really cool dude, but was obviously really embarrassed. Now that I think about it, I hope either he or one of his friends are a Redditor and see this. Was drinking with friends at a nightclub known for getting rowdy at times. Some guy and I bumped into each other. No one's fault, just the sort of shit that happens in a crowded and dark room. We both spill a few sips of our drinks. I'm just about ready to say no big deal and forget the entire event, but he flips off. Tells me I owe him another drink. No, I don't. He starts swearing at me, telling me I need to buy him another drink or he will just take all of my money and buy it himself. Typical story from anyone who's dealt with a dipshit drunk in a bar looking for a fight. I work security in a hospital. A big hospital with a busy ER and a psych unit. We get in fights almost every other day. At least once a month, if not more, we get into a really good fight. I'm talking fighting some giant juice monkey on methamphetamines who's fighting like his life is on the line. We get 1 week, 40 hours of fairly intense self-defense training per year, counter-strikes and takedowns mostly. So, this guy doesn't scare me. I tell him one last time to drop it and try to walk past him. He puts one hand on my chest and tries to grab for my wallet. I grab his hand, torqued it around, jammed it up his back pretty hard, and gave him as hard a shove as I could in a crowded little room. Must have hurt his shoulder pretty good, but no actual damage would have been done. He stumbled a few steps away and then slunk off without looking around.